Hello and welcome to another Will It Forge Watching Paint Dry stream. Hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday. Hope the weather is your preferred type. Me, I've got a nice overcast. It's not too bright, not really too gloomy, not too wet, though it was raining earlier. Not dry, so I'm actually kind of cool with the way the weather is looking right now. I'm pretty much never cool with the way it's feeling, but that's what you get when you have a weather hip. Trying a few things today as far as trying to manage to keep it comfortable temperature in here without having the air conditioner blasting on you folks all the time. Joys of the Will It Forge makeshift art and sound studio, which is a corner of my living room with an easy chair. So we'll see what we get. I might have to change things up right away because trying to leave the slider cracked do a natural air ventilation the way that Ranting Monkey does, and sure enough we got crickets. So anyway, the way that we see the picture on the screen right now is where we left off last time. And I'm really happy with the way that the picture is coming along. That is a attempt at a natural light shot. I don't have quite the whole picture in the screen, but it has a good I like the colors, I like the layout. We're making good progress on it. And the color that we have in the bottom right there, I'm going to be putting more of that in as we go along. Now, one of the things that we've been having, of course, plenty of music on the streams. A friend of mine, I would say a fan so much as a follower, did encourage me to dig into the sounds some and see if I can't expand. And I have been trying to get, we are still mostly with Straight No Chaser and Peter Hollins because of copyright reasons. But I have been spending some time trying to expand my collection on those. We're not going to see the full impact of that today because I've got some of them that I have to take and actually do my own audio editing for them. With that said, though, we are going to have a nice all-around collection in our music. I'm going to be looking for some public domain stuff out there too, or ones where people have clearly licensed or allowed for use in videos and streaming and everything. And I'm going to reach out to a few more artists and see what it would take to get licensing on a few more things. So we'll kind of watch and see for how the whole music collection expands. In the meantime, though, I am going to go ahead and queue up a little bit. And as you can see, we are getting ready for painting. I said I was going to start with that color we were showing in the bottom corner. More of this color here, and that's what's in this bottom corner of the tray. Oh, and I did do a few sound checks, but I got to keep moving my microphone around a little bit. So please let me know if there's any issues with the sound or anything like that, because we do want to make sure that folks out there can hear me, not just the music. And we're going to go ahead and start with the some straight note chaser. I went back through and I did some deep dives for stuff that was done on live performances. I've got to do some edits for some things because they had like 2, 3, 4 songs. There's even one person that recorded a whole live performance. Want to do some splitting out for better control. Hopefully I won't lose too much quality doing that. And here we come with the first round of music in the jukebox. And get started with figuring out what we're going to do with our next steps on the art.
Got flipped. Turned upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, and I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air. There are a lot of confused faces out there right now. Clearly didn't watch sitcoms in the 90s. That is the theme song from a very popular show called... That was really together, guys. That was amazing. It's like we planned this. That's awesome. Yes, that is from The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Now, television has been around for a long time. I don't really know how long because I don't do research for these announcements, but I figure at least like 25, 35 years minimum. And within that time, the sitcom has been a prevalent genre of television. And if you ask us on stage, what is the mark of a true sitcom? It's got to have one of those great sitcom theme songs. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, those songs that you tune in just a couple minutes early every week, just so you don't miss one precious note of them. Let me give you some examples. You tell me what lines what shows these lines are from. I'll get it eventually. All right, come and listen to a story about a man named Jed. Beverly Hillbillies, Not As Together is the first one. Work on that, guys. Not a lot of people know this, actually. That show was the prequel to a very popular show now called The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Again, I don't do any research for this. It's just Wikipedia Live up here. Okay, so let me give you another one. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then you have... Now we're getting it. All right, last one. This is an easy one. You all know this one. Thank you for being a friend. Golden Girls, that was really loud and soon. And you are proud of that. Yes, you must be the proud owner of a Golden Girls box set right there, I can tell. VHS? Yeah, definitely. It's the only way to watch them, real grainy-like. So, actually, I do have a little fun fact for you guys. This I did look up. This is gonna blow your minds. Madonna, today, is the same age as Blanche Devereaux was on the final season of The Golden Girls. Yeah, try sleeping tonight now. All right, so we decided to get a bunch of those great theme songs and put them into a medley for you guys. And now that some of you may not be sitcom aficionados, so we created some slides that we're going to put up here to clue you in on what shows they came from. Now, we had to doctor those slightly for legal purposes, but I'm sure you won't even be able to tell. Please, enjoy.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 8.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, the cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are wrong, and you're free. These days are wrong, share them with me. These happy days are yours and mine. These happy days are yours and mine. Happy days.
family.
Charles in charge of our days and our lives. Charles in charge of our wrongs and our rights. And I say, I want Charles in charge of me. 2, 3, and who?
Told you life was gonna be this way. Jobs, joke, love, I see no way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been like week, your month, or even your year. I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like you've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too.
There's a time for love and a time for living. You take a chance and face the wind. An open road and road that's in a brand new life around the bend. There were times I lost a dream or two, found a trail, and at the end was you. There's a path you take and a path I'm taking. The choice is up to you, my friend. Your nights are long, but you might awaken to a brand new life, brand new life, a brand new life around the bend. Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries, I'm sure would help a lot. Would you like to get away? Come on, sing it with us.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
And they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know our troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Actually, I'm not too fond of going to places where people know my name, but that's a side tale there.
Beans don't fry in the kitchen. Beans don't burn on the grill. It took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues. Getting nice hurt out there. As long as we're living, it sure be baby. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So we're moving on up to the east side. To a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on up to the east side. We finally got a key. Well, come on, Weezy. Of the pie.
That is right, Kyler. It is Saturday, and everybody's starting to know that Saturday's a Forger streaming day. At least I hope they are. If not, I'll pretend they think that. I'm willing to push a little bit of ego, though I'm not a victim of the cult of ego. So how are you doing today, Kyler? Getting better, still on the mend? Have the doctors come up with anything new for you? I have to revisit these couple pieces right here because I'm thinking they might actually be dragon tail fin thing. If they are, I'll have to do a different color there, but I'm ready for that if I have to. Picking up the color that I left off the last art stream, which was 3 weeks ago because of end of month and a couple of back-to-back odd number Saturdays. Thank you for that, Kyler. I put it out there too, and got it out in a few different Discords now. We've added Frosted Glasses Discord for the Toxic Brigade. The folks that, if anybody's going to get me banned from YouTube, it's those folks there. If I get banned from YouTube, I'll just have to stream exclusively on DLive or something like that. But I love YouTube's latest. Well, we're going to be evaluating the stuff you do off platform. And if it's bad and we don't like it, we're going to take you, we're going to do something to you on the platform for stuff that does not involve us in any way, shape, or form. Somebody has got to come down on YouTube sooner or later. I just don't know what it's going to take. In the meantime, I try to be very careful about the political stuff on my channel. Heck, I don't even do political stuff as a rule on a Twitter that YouTube can connect to this account. There's a fingers crossed on that, because I like my channel. I like having this. It gets me out of my shell a little bit, which I don't like so much, but it's good for me. Get me practicing talking and communicating better, which is good for me. Funny how all these things are good for us that we don't really care much for. Third round of antibiotics, and they want to do a chest CT this coming week, but they're sure it's not COVID. The struggles continue for our friend Kyler, who's hopefully going to just suddenly get much better out of the blue with the doctors saying, yeah, we did it, we did it, we did it. We don't know what we did, but we did it. Yeah, what I'm doing right now actually brings in one of the bigger challenges to doing a picture with this kind of complexity, is deciding what things are parts of what. If you want to do, I don't care about the color wheel, but I do care about color consistency. Says the person with plant pieces like this, where you get like a maroon and a bright yellow orange. Had 3 negative tests in a couple of weeks. Well, the way the tests are supposed to be designed, that should be definitive. They do something that's called a presumptive positive testing, which means that the test results are supposed to come back with either it absolutely is not, or it might well be. One of the first things that got me annoyed with my own governor was the conflation of presumed positives with confirmed positives. And the way the testing is designed, it is designed, when it works properly, to give you false positives and no false negatives. So nobody gets told, no, you don't have it, and goes and infects people. But there are people that are said, you might have it, and then comes back and say, okay, we double checked, you don't. So three negatives in a couple of weeks should be absolutely definitive. And it falls back to that other guy who's like, the doctor said I have it, but I had a dozen tests and they all said negative. well, then you're saying you're presenting the symptoms, but you don't actually have the sickness, which means you got something else. Did he get counted in the statistics? Probably. We are going to keep pushing this color in for a while today. And I am going to get some of the tunes back up. As I've been trying to expand what I have in both Peter Howlands and Straight No Chaser. I'm also looking into more options of public domain, and I get some people that I need to reach out to for possible licensing. Well, glad to hear that you're planning on streaming tomorrow. I certainly hope you're feeling up to it. I also hope your boss isn't one of your followers and is like, how is it you're not working, but you sure are streaming? It's a good reason to go for a break between your professional life and your personal life and your hobbies.
All right, folks, we got a brand new show for you tonight. We got some new songs, we got some classics, we got something for everybody. This next song is going to be sung to you by Mike Luganville. Please enjoy.
When I look into your eyes, it's like watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. Well, there's so much to hold, and just like the old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. Oh, how old is your soul? Well, I won't give up. I'll give it even if the sky I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. And when you're needing your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find, to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn, some even fall to the earth. We got a lot to learn, and God knows we're worth it. No, I won't give up. I don't wanna be someone who walks away so easily. I need to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools and gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. And in the end, you're still my friend. At least we didn't temper us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. All we had to learn how to make without a word. Giving in, I had to learn what I got and what I'm not, and who I am. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. I'm still looking up. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love, still looking up.
Sorry to hear that D-Live is not working for you today. It actually seems to be streaming pretty smoothly for me. At least according to my computer, it's streaming pretty smoothly. I'm not getting a lot on my tablet. I just had to refresh it. So yeah, so far so good on both platforms. I am still looking into the announcement information I have on YouTube going to streaming on the YouTube events, which might mean that there's like an events link kind of thing for live videos for the same channel. At least I hope it's for the same channel. But that's supposed to be in place, I guess, before by the end of the month. So I am looking into the information that they're sharing on that. Probably won't affect the people too much that actually stream right through YouTube. But for the folks that do like OBS and the like, there might be some impact, especially if you're like restream. If you do like restream to multicast. Which, of course, includes Lucky Me. One of the commercial sites that's out there that I go to on a regular basis that does not sponsor the stream, so this is not paid advertising or paid content, is woot.com, WOOT, and they've got a lot of stuff that goes through like refurbs, overstock items, clearance going out and everything. If you're not familiar with it, they have a few different things where are like types of items listed each day. So like a computer related thing and a home thing. They had a shirt thing this week. There was a shirt that said something to the effect of I put on my pants like everyone else, as rarely as possible, kind of thing. But they're one of the 3 sites that I visit every single day, though most times I don't buy anything because money. I crossed the broke streamer with the classic starving artist. Of course, I've seen my art. I probably deserve to starve. A spinning circle of frustration over on D-Live for you, Kyler. Well, that's no fun. Looking at it on my tablet, it looks like there might be 1 or 2 people over there. I don't know if the connections I've got, how they are being counted or not. So I do not try to overcount my audience size. I've got 1 million followers. They just like to lurk. And that's an I wish.
Okay, now Trenton may be the capital, but more people are familiar, possibly, with Asbury Park, this next gentleman. Well, now everything dies, baby, that's a fact. Maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, fix your hair up pretty, and meet me tonight in Atlantic City. And meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Born down in a dead man town, the first Well, now everything dies, maybe that's a fact. Maybe everything dies, someday comes back. Put your makeup on, put your hair up pretty, and meet me tonight in Atlantic City. And meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Just meet me tonight in Atlantic City.
Got it to open, but it's buffering more than it's playing. Don't know how much of that is your connection and how much of it's because I'm actually trying to stream really good quality with the camera for the sake of a good picture on the screen. Once again, I have really got to start saving up for a machine to replace Potato Clock. I keep daydreaming about ones with like maxed out drive and memory performance and multiple video cards, and that's going to be more like a, oh hey, I won the lottery. Hello, I want the custom built, the biggest, baddest, fastest rig you can come up with. I'll be able to render an hour-long video in 5 minutes. Okay, so we got plenty of that in this portion. I have to be careful too, because I paint myself if I'm not careful. Nice to hear that the Civ 6 streams are doing good for you and everything. I do not pay enough attention to my analytics. I know this. I know some videos get better viewing than others do. Not only do I have to get back to making videos here and not just streaming, I have to go looking for the next story to narrate too. And I get a day job, and I don't shill a political channel, so no wonder it doesn't do very well. By which I mean I've got a political channel that I do not shill and do not associate with directly under this identity, and therefore it doesn't get a whole lot. So Kyler, did you ever manage to get around to checking out Telltale Heart, or still been held up by stuff like memory akin to monkeys? Some parts of this are painting really smoothly. Other parts are like, I'm glad I got that black paint pen to follow up when everything is filled in.
My name is Randy, and I'm from Chicago, where you're either a Cubs fan or a Sox fan. And out near New York, you might be either a Yankees fan or this season a Yankees fan. But in the 60s, during the British invasion, there were two bands that stood out above all the rest, except we couldn't just pick one of them.
Satisfaction, 'cause I tried, and I tried, and I tried, yeah, I tried. I can't get no, I can't get no, I can't get no satisfaction. Your beast of burden, my heart was broke, but it's a hurting, and all I want is for you to make love to me. All you need is love, love. There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall some are dead, some are living. In my life, When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. One, two, three. Down, 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 down. Whoa, with the touch of darling, so don't leave me down. On me, baby, always you. I need you, darling, so don't leave me down. Whoa, yes, I need you. Yes, I need you. Believe, say never leave. No, you never. Yes, I need you. Yes, I need you. Never give me a chance. Come, 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 and so long, baby. We will never part. I need you, darling. So come go with me. Whoa, don't tell me. But I remember you. 'Twas not so long ago. You broke my heart too. Tears on my pillow, pain in my heart, caused by you. Love is not a gadget. Love is not a toy. When you find the one you love, she'll fill your heart with joy. And we can start anew. I wouldn't hesitate. I'd gladly take you back and tap the hands of fate. Tears on my pillow, pain in my heart, caused by you. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, pretending that I'm doing well. My need is such, I pretend too much. I'm lonely, but no one can tell. Oh, too real is this feeling of make-believe. Too real is to feel what my heart can't conceal. I'm pretending that you're still around. Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of lonely streets. Heartbreak Hotel, now, baby. I've been so lonely, baby. I've been so lonely. I've been so lonely, I could die. Oh, I know it's always crowded, but you still can find some room for broken-hearted lovers to cry away. Oh, baby, they've been so lonely, baby. They've been so lonely. They've been so lonely, they could die. You ain't not my how long, crying all the time. something I might have said. Please forgive my past. The future's bright ahead, but don't be cruel to all that's true. I don't want love, baby, since you are, baby.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a predictable outcome with D Live because they try to preserve quality even if it means sacrificing how close to the action they are. So they will buffer longer to give you higher quality video. That's the theory, at least. How well it practices out, I haven't always been able to say. And Kyler's pleading monkey brain. That would explain if Kyler's got monkey's brain, that would explain some of monkey's antics. Speaking of monkey, once again, Saturday, so 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, Lords of the Night should be on the Ranting Monkeys channel. Politics, news, commentary, the best, worst birthday singing you've ever heard. Aside from the birthday singing, definitely not for children and not for the easily offended. But if you're not easily offended, if you like having a different view of news and everything, if you like to have your ideas and thinking challenged, it is a great place to drop by. And the beautiful thing is being on the YouTubes and everything. If you decide it's not for you, you can just close it. And then Kyler does his streams on Sundays when his health, when he's not working and when his health doesn't have him down too far. Go ahead and throw your own shill out there, Kyler, because we got to stand up for each other in the YouTube creator world, because YouTube sucks at YouTube for things like that. And another one that I will shill without provocation, or maybe it's my way of getting revenge, is Tuesday nights around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Quippers United on Jack Gunsky's channel. Get Jackbot Games, or Jackbox Games. I can talk, I promise. And also not a crew for the easily offended, but tends to be a fun show, fun games, and for a terrible person, Jack's not a bad guy. I say that in jest. He's a decent game show host, and he does a really solid stand on free speech absolutism. So it's never a bad place to be a contestant as far as that goes. Although that is why it is not for the easily offended, because if you're offended by the truth or by words that give you hurty feelings, it is not the place for you.
Well, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? I'm itching like a man on a fuzzy tree. My friends say I'm acting wild as a bug. I'm in love. I'm all sugar. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, please don't ask me what's on my mind. I'm a little step above feeling fine. When I meet a girl that I love best, my heart beats so it scares me to death. She touches on my hand, what a shell I got. Her lips are like a volcano inside. And I'm proud to say that she's my buttercup. I'm in love. I'm all sugar. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm all sugar.
Oh, when the sun beats down and melts the
Top on the roof.
and your shoes get so hot,
You wish your tired feet were fireproof.
One through party in the county jail. The freezer man was there, they began to wail. The band was jumping and the drum began to swing. Shoot the hammers like Jack Chambers.
Down by the sea, yeah. On the blanket with my baby is where I'll be.
The band was jumping and the drum began to swing. Shoot the hammers like Jack Chambers. See, let's rock. Everybody, let's roll. Let's rock it. Oh, let's rock. Everybody in the whole city was dancing to jailhouse rock.
Under the boardwalk, boardwalk,
Dancing to jailhouse rock.
under the boardwalk, boardwalk,
Dancing to jailhouse rock.
under the boardwalk, boardwalk, under the boardwalk, boardwalk, under the boardwalk, boardwalk, under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
Now wait a minute. What's up, y'all? I feel love. It feels so good to me. You know you make me wanna shout. Throw my hands up and shout. Throw my hands up and shout. Throw my head back and shout. Come on now, show me get to say show me get to say say it with now, baby. Come on, say that to me. A little bit softer now, 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 who is something? Got some ashy daddies. A little bit softer now, a little bit louder 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 now.
We would like to take a moment right now to thank WITF, local PBS affiliate, for airing our live in New York special that we filmed last summer, and we've been showing it, and that's why this place is packed. So we appreciate it. Continue to sponsor it. Now, I can't guarantee the rest of this introduction is going to go so smoothly because I was kind of planning it during the first set, so just bear with me, okay? So Don and I went to the world of chocolate, or the chocolate world, whatever it's called. The world of chocolate, does someone know? So we were there earlier today, and I was asking him, I said, what happens if someone like falls in the river of chocolate? It would become tainted, wouldn't it? The chance to get this one, yeah. I saw all those little glorious little Hershey's Kisses on your streetlights and everything, and I thought of just love. Thank you, Blake. So, yeah, this next song's called Tainted Love. Enjoy. I didn't say it was going to be good.
Had to disable links so that some rando wouldn't get you in trouble. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how YouTube wants to make the creators responsible for the actions of other users and the like. And the actions of actual users when users are doing something other than YouTube. Next, YouTube's going to come down on me for my artistic techniques or lack thereof. It's like, you call yourself an artist. No, I don't. There are people that think I should be, but no, I don't. But don't let that kid you. If I could make a living doing this, doing these streams and these pictures and everything, I would very seriously consider it. Can't say for certain that I'd jump at it, but I would definitely be considering it. And here's where you get one of the interesting things with doing this in watercolors is the variability in the paints with the dilution in the water. This color here is the same color as this one here, is the same as this color there. It's just a matter of a combination of the moisture and how thin or thick the paint was mixed with water and how thickly it was applied to the wood. So even when I'm dealing with the same color, I've got a lot of variation and variability built right into it. Yeah, kind of like Twitter. They don't cry. Say they don't watch too closely until somebody cries about it. And like, he said a bad word. That person did something that hurt my feelings. Oh, that content creator, somebody in his chat linked something that I was offended by. One of these things is not like the others. Didn't you watch Sesame Street? Let's see. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I am going to... Just occurred to me, I think the color that I want to use for this piece right here, as such, I've got color right here. That we're going to apply. And there's a reason why I try to stick with music, stick with stuff that's either licensed or public domain, or the artists encourage the sharing of them, because, yeah, that's... people like to get you in trouble. Oh, this...
Growing up, I was a huge Motown fan.
This one takes me back.
Shocker to most of you. But, some of my favorites growing up were Stevie Wonder, love Stevie Wonder, James Brown, love me some James Brown, Jackie Wilson, Michael Jackson. But this man right here has to be one of my favorite R&B singers of all time, Mr. Marvin Gaye.
And let's just clear the air there on that right now. If If you hear that and you don't have at least a little bit of a flashback to the California Raisins as well, you're just wrong. And then, of course, in the world of parody, Paul Shanklin has a really funny political parody on that harkens back to the Clinton years. He's a great one for political parody and does some really good impressions of a lot of different politicians. Or Too Young, yeah. I do not forgive the young for not getting that cultural reference, so...
In Straight No Chaser, we get a lot of requests. I mean, people come up to us all over the place giving us requests, and we never listen. But we found that overwhelmingly, the ladies wanted to hear one song. She was the first one. Thank you. We got that email. Thank you. So they were coming up to us out of every corner, just, hey, we need this song. So right now, ladies of Baltimore, in full light, Tyler Trepp is going to give you that song. So please enjoy this next one.
Yeah, Journey's not one it's common to see people doing major covers of. It is a uh, group that has a lot of vocal there that's hard to duplicate. Trying to mess up my picture. Well, unless your niece started unless your sister started very late, your niece should have some little exposure to California raisins, just because it's wrong not to. Note, this is not a hill I will die on. But there's, right and proper, and then there's unconscionably wrong. Well, the only way to do most songs is to make it your own. Straight No Chaser really excels at that, though. They do a every song we touch is ours. I've got to go to a finer brush for this because I am elsewise going to have to repaint everything. And despite Jack Gunsky's little unforgivable, I just realized there's a lot of unforgivable about that guy. The whole paint by numbers comment, there are no numbers here. So if I mess up a color that I painted 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, I might not be able to find, work out which pigment it was that I messed up for replacing it with the right thing. The dragon's the easy part because it's all the metallic stuff, so I can connect through to which color it likely is pretty easily on the dragon. But when you get the rest of this picture, most of the colors, I just have best guess. And yes, I am adding gray in the middle of all of these bright colors. But if you look at it, it's making those bright colors seem even more vivid. Yeah, some they're difficult because of the instrumentals. Some they're difficult because of the vocal range. Some of them, the only way that you can kind of, in either of those, you have to make it your own. But for some of them, it's like best off actually with an a cappella group where you can say, okay, this part of the song you're singing, this part of the song you're singing, and just own that like you wrote it rather than simply a cover. And Straight No Chaser is really good with that. They put their own, as they say, they put their own twist. Try to do that on everything they do. So I don't even know what's next on the playlist. I really like this one. Sorry about the screeching girls, but it is the live performances, because otherwise it gets copy claimed.
Girl, I must warn you, I sense something strange in my mind. The situation is serious. That's good, cause we're running out of time. It's all so beautiful. Relationships we see from the start. It's all so deadly when love is tied together from the heart. Yeah, check it out. It's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to fight. Can't get it out of my head. This circus of my heart, that girl's poison. She was more like a beauty queen. Said about to baby, I am the one who was there so long. She caused a scene that every edge I would dream of being the one who was there so long. I've been always so big, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking your side. My home is so big, be careful in love. Be careful what you do when life comes true. Hey, Billie Jean is my lover. She's the girl who thinks that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. She said I am the one, the kid is my son. She'll drive you right out of your mind. She'll steal your heart when you're blind. Beware, she's scheming. She'll make you think you're dreaming. You'll fall in love and you'll be screaming, demon. So take my strong advice. Just remember to always think poison. Don't think twice, think twice. It's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to fight. Can't get it out of my head. I miss her, yes, I wanna be there. That girl is very cheap.
Yeah, Home Free does a really good both of making a song their own and breaking it down over the parts so they get the best performance. And I'm actually perfectly fine with the country music feel of the songs and just the performance style too. But I have to try to work within certain limitations, which includes the trying not to get significant copy claims that I can avoid. And I am just doing really bad at staying within the lines. Yeah, copyright is the reason why I do the stuff that I do, music-wise. In part is because I have a license from Peter Hollins for his stuff. That's where there is a link to his channel in my description on all of these streams. And then the stuff that is Straight No Chaser is taken from their live streams, where the recordings do not belong to the studio. They actually actively encourage the audience to record and share their live performances. So it's not like most shows where if they catch you recording, they'll either take it away or kick you out. You do the recording there, and they're like, "Yeah, please do record and share online." You know, they're kind of like Lords of the Night shill things, like share it front, backwards, and sideways. But they got that as part of their recording contract, in part because it is recordings of live performances on YouTube that brought them to the attention of Atlantic Artists CEO, who reached out and got them their recording contract. And yeah, Home Freeze Bass has done collabs with Peter Hollins. I've heard a lot of them. I've got them in my playlist. Actually, the whole group has done some collabs too. And I take the letter of my agreement with Mr. Hollins very seriously. If it's on his channel, I feel free to share it directly with you folks, because not only do you get to enjoy it here, but I'm trying to drive traffic to him because I love his stuff and I want to keep him making new stuff. And that's one of those, sooner or later I'll have money saved up for some of his CDs too. But I'm not doing that right now, because if I'm saving up money for something aside from paying regular bills, I've got to replace Potato Clock. Sorry, I was checking on the status of things, and it was looks like the constant issues with DLive continue, where I guess I went buffering long enough or something and dropped my tablet off, which I use my tablet to monitor the DLive stream. OBS shows me what stuff is going out, but I try to keep an eye on how things look on the other side of it too.
Beach Boys fans in the house tonight? Tough to do the 60s without covering a Beach Boys tune, but we didn't want to just cover a Beach Boys tune. We wanted to put the Straight No Chaser twist on it. So we thought to ourselves, all right, what if these guys, instead of growing up out west, what if they grew up right here in the Jersey Shore? And then we thought, all right, what if these guys grew up more or less with us at the same time we did? Well, I thought the song might sound a little something like this.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, spelling is important, although I'm sure he probably gets his share of that. It's an easy mistake to make with his name. I have to figure out where... Oh, there's my drink. Trying to do this without the air conditioner kicking in, so we've got... trying alternative methods of staying cool, including a chilled beer. Yeah, he does collabs with Home Free. Well, basically with just about anybody else he can musically connect with. But he does those collabs with his fans too, where he gets them to record vocals and the like, and assembles it all together. And that's actually what that one from The Greatest Showman, the This Is Me, that was him, and he got vocals from over 500 of his fans into that one too. And gets those and assembles the whole thing into a video. Their post on that, just from the recording to assembly, is probably way more time consuming than simply the audio. You know, they probably put more time into the assembly in post compared to their time in shooting video and recording audio, because he's got some really great production quality videos and things that are assembled from hundreds of recordings. And some of I've went through and I've been grabbing additional recordings of his from his channel, and there's like, yeah, this is 300 vocal overlays, and everything is made with the human voice, mouth, and some clapping kind of thing. They're like, yeah, this was 300 audio channels that they had to assemble into one song. So it's just an immense amount of work, an immense amount of talent and performance they put into that. Yeah, I don't listen to everything he performs, and I don't share everything he performs, but the amount of work that goes into even the simplest video and the amount of raw talent that's presented there is just, it's impressive, and it's respectable, and it's demonstrates what you can do with hard work and everything. And then his wife is so talented. His kids can sing. Well, don't know about the youngest one yet, but the youngest one shows up in some of the videos. Be careful this and try not to make it worse, trying to make, improve and progress and everything, and like, oops, get an oops here and an oops there, here and oops there and oops everywhere and oopsie. Like, speaking of, I've just about gone through the whole playlist on the Straight No Chaser that I set up earlier, and I think it's a good time to uh, change stations, so to speak. Oh yeah, he definitely makes it fun for his youngsters. In fact, there is you want to find the performance of the Cup song, and he only does background on that one, but it's his family, and you can tell how much fun that the kids are having too. And then there is the Fox, which his son does some of the acting on it. Grab a selection of these. And obviously, some of these do actually, uh, feature others, and some of them even have instruments because he's also collaborated with the piano guys, among others, and it's so much great. There's like I can't say enough good there. There's just so much great in the different performances and everything. There was a couple of them. The uh, recordings, the videos are captioned with "No instruments were harmed in the making of this video." Hey, I'm not judging you. I like the original. I like any well done cover of it. So I'm not gonna judge you there. But he's got one with his family that it's not my favorite cover of it, but it is cute and it is worth seeing at least once. Oh yeah, get the latest one from BioShock Infinite, of course. I had to be careful because I was updating to be ready for Christmas season 2. So I don't have these like sub-sorted. So there's like Christmas music throughout, and it's primarily Howlands and Straight No Chaser, though I found one or two other public domain recordings to start broadening the collection. Did you know that Rockin' Robin is public domain now? Obviously, that's a Christmas song. Gotta be careful. Gonna have to do some indexing on this too. Oh, and Beatles Love Me Do is in the public domain now. It basically fell into a 6-month gap and they didn't redo the copyright on it, so that fell into the public domain. We're gonna go ahead and throw the Fox in here, even though we're gonna have to. It's one of the things I have to go back in and trim the ends off the recordings. You know, the Hello Holland's Family and all of that stuff. But that's one of the reasons why I got the permissions to use his materials, is so I can go in and do stuff like that and come up with a really good result. And how did this paint get there? Do I have it? That's going to need a little bit of cleanup. I don't know if it's on a hair or it didn't drip unless it dripped on the brush. No, not on my hand, so let's start the music.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more, people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared. No one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool said I, you do not know, silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you, take my arms that I might reach you, but my words like silent raindrops fell and echo in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was for me. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls.
Well, I should clarify that a little bit, because I think that they weren't, the way that it went, I think it went into the public domain like in February or March of that year, and they did not expand the law to allow it to be held copyrighted for longer. Sorry, I gotta do a little bit of a refill here. They didn't expand the copyright capability until like November that year. It's like 2013, I think it was. And so it fell in the gap of not renewed, but in part it fell in the gap of non-renewed because the law wouldn't allow them to renew it when it needed to be renewed to keep it. They didn't change that law for 7 or 8 months. So guy probably kept his job because there wasn't a whole lot they could do to, around that. But I guess it's not very many songs, because it's just that one 6 to 8 month gap, and that was under British copyright law. That one 6 to 8 month gap in which copyrights expired and could not be renewed, and once they expired, they were gone for good. Well, when this is done, it's gonna, with all the fine detail and everything, it's gonna have a few flaws here and there, because there's just gonna be no way to avoid that with all that tiny detail in watercolor paints. It's what you make of it, right? Hello, Data Wasteland, and welcome to the stream. Continuing on the pseudo-artistic pursuits of Mr. Forge here. Making a lot of progress, also making some mistakes that I'm hopefully going to be able to clear up along the way. And 1 or 2 spots where, oops, a cat hair. And nothing quite messes up your picture like cat hair in the paint, but once it's in the paint, it's hard to get out. Because I just spotted a place that needed a touch-up. Connected to the dragon, and now I can't spot it again. Oh yeah, that's right. It was in the greens. It was in the greens. Ah, there it is. I also spotted, I think that's on the screen here, there is a claw protrusion right here. And it kind of matches the toenail claws and the back claws on the feet, so I got to add the color there. Well, Data Wasteland, it's actually, it's an homage to Blendtec's Will It Blend, which is a fancy word for, I just ripped that off. No, the laser that I have is a Glowforge laser, and I really like my Glowforge and everything. When I was looking at possibly getting it, the thing was crossing my mind to start doing videos on YouTube of the notion of Will It Forge, doing stuff in the laser. And if you look at the videos and not the live streams, those are all related to making stuff in the laser. Well, you get the supplemental ones like making the Aaliyah plaque for Satsune Squishy and Squeedus. But that was still made in the laser. I just took and painted it afterwards. That was with the nice metallic acrylics. not making mistakes with watercolors. And I've stuck with it, so I do have to get back into making more videos, but that's the thing is, will it forge is will it glow forge? But as a distinct identifier separate from my regular life, I actually like it when people call me Will here, because it makes keeping the parts of my identity and my life and my brain separate a lot easier. Okay, so that's that claw, like the back of the foot claw, and I gotta figure out the next part. What I was going to do next. Oh yeah, I was going to do this part here. I just have to figure out which color I'm gonna match it up next to that greenish color. Probably should do something nice and bright. I know, I haven't done this color yet. At least not on this palette, so. And I actually explained the history for the name in my first video. I think I might have even said something to the effect of, totally liked the idea, so I ripped it off. I do have to get back into making videos, because I've got stuff to do videos on, including like leather, which we know, of course, will forge from one of my live streams, but some of the things that I do actually get doubled down as resources in the laser forums for, hey, you can do this, and this is kind of how it comes out, and this is how you have to approach it. So I've been considered not just entertaining, but educational, which just goes to show you how desperate people can be. Okay, this part isn't really on the screen so much, so we're going to have to try and change that a little bit. There, that should work. Except I can't put the paint right there. Yeah, I'm gonna put that right next to that, and it's gonna like really stand out. But I need a finer brush for this again. So you get all that fine detail and that. So you wonder if you could do quartz and similar. Well, that just means I have to get back into doing videos, because I have got, well, I don't know if I've got quartz for it. But I do have materials to put in there, including, I had the one stone tile, but I've got actual like porcelain tiles, and I've got some different types of stone, as well as I think I got some marble. I'll have to take a look. I know I've got some amethyst sitting around. It was actually an amethyst pendant that I bought for the purpose of making a engraved pendant, though I don't know if amethyst will forge or not. I've got a few other surprises in the wings for later on, the question of will it forge. So I do need to get back into making content for that. I've just got a project in my laser that I have been rather derelict in finishing, and kind of see where it goes from there. And I think I've got a Petoskey stone around somewhere. I'm sure I've got a Petoskey stone around somewhere. I've got to organize stuff too. It's my the studio is a mess. And that definitely cuts into creative urges. Oh, this is the song I was talking about, The Fox. And if you watch the video for this, his son shows up in it as the main character.
Okay, I think that was the cutest video I've ever done.
Well, there is, for some crystalline structures, you have issues of making something stand out on the material, and then there is issues of like with something more crystalline like that, you'd be doing basically thermal fracturing of the crystal. With like just plain stone, you're doing slight fracturing, slight vaporization, burning away some of the material to do your engrave. The more crystalline stuff, you're definitely high in the thermal fracturing, and so you'll end up with the question of how the crystal deals with that kind of destruction, and if it's diffusing the image from the engraving that's done. Does the thermal fracturing spread out too far to the sides from what you are trying to do? So if you can do it, you might end up losing some of your image detail to the spread of that thermal fracturing to the side, and that's when you end up asking you decide you have to go with something that's a little more basic if it's going to work, because something more complicated, something with a higher detail on it, you'll lose too much of it. I know I've done a few things on my own that I definitely want to do for the channel to get that whole, explaining more of that. I know I did a video on glass. It's the same kind of thing with glass, is you are thermally fracturing the glass. So you have to be careful not to overdo the thermal stress on the glass, as well as you're going to lose some finer detail if you do something that's too precise. You wouldn't be able to do this image here in glass very easily, because you would lose a lot of detail to the thermal fracturing. Even with like perfect focus and everything, you get the really tight spots, you're going to lose stuff. Okay, I heard that. Which one of you made noise? No, not Boo. She's napping. And I have not been able to find Wazowski since an hour before the stream. He didn't even come out for catnip, so I'm not sure what he is doing with himself right now, other than just napping. I get worried anytime he's quiet this long, but at the same time, there's no way he could have gotten out of the apartment, so it's one of those just paranoid. I know he's here somewhere, and he's probably doing this deliberately. I'm not going to make noise because it worries Dad.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, I hear her voice in the morning. Now she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. And driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads, take me home. Country roads. Yeah, those limitations are kind of what got me interested in the first place, and where I wanted to branch out into the notion of making videos. And you would think, I mean, some things you would think like, oh, hey, that's a pushover. But you get something even as simple as wood, and the laser downright vaporizes wood. Vaporizes wood, burns stuff that's a little bit farther away from the focal point and everything. But you get a dense wood or a thick enough wood, and you can't cut through that. Not at least without a lot more passes than I have tried. And then, of course, you get other limitations as far as that goes, and you wouldn't think of it for wood, but there are woods that are toxic to burn. But it's got to double down on that, because there are other things that you would think, oh, hey, but they are toxic to burn. This is why I've got a video on vinyl that switches to something else. Is the answer is, don't burn vinyl. What you end up with is you end up making a caustic and toxic gas related to hydrochloric acid, and you will destroy your laser, and if it gets out of the laser, you will destroy your lungs and your skin. And that's one way to mess up your complexion, that you just don't want to do that. And so, avoid most all things with vinyl, just because it's not the vinyl itself, it's the chloride. So PVC is a no. It's just safer to avoid most things with vinyl. And there are lasers that are designed for cutting vinyl. And the vinyl devastates them. You get the inside of your lasers all cratered and pockmarked and everything like that, and it's something to behold. But when your laser isn't designed for that, you know, your optics and your electronics are going to get totally destroyed, and they'll get destroyed fast. It's like a small tiny bit isn't going, you know, accidentally isn't going to be a huge thing, but a project as long as just burning this image was, is going to do significant lasting damage to your laser. The recommendations actually for vinyl are just a razor. You know, use a cutter similar to Cricut, or a water jet cutter. Which I would love to have a water jet cutter too, but space and money are not your friends when you're living in an apartment. As far as having lots of space and money, it just doesn't happen. Yeah, a Big 10-4 on don't breathe acid. It's not a good thing. It totally messes with your insides in a way that is not the most desirable, shall we say. In fact, it is quite undesirable. Let this dry for a moment or two and try and figure out, because I want to do just a little bit more before the end of the stream, but I got to figure out which one, you know, which pieces. It's probably got to be near the edge so I don't keep reaching over the stuff where the paint's still wet, because that's where you end up painting. You don't know if you can see the color there too well. Just a little bit right there. You end up painting yourself and messing up your picture too. And I know artists, you know, paint themselves all the time as they're working, but you know, artists like Bob Ross, he paints himself without messing up his picture. When I paint myself, it messes up my picture. I'll burn the surface of wood to color and hold off wood rot. That is definitely an interesting approach to it. I haven't thought of doing something like that, but most of my materials that I'm working with are either straight woods or processed things. Like this is MDF core for plywood, but it's laser MDF. It's designed to be cut with the laser. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be covering it with paint, so I don't care if it's a grained wood. In fact, the fact that it's not a grained wood makes it even nicer for painting. Yeah, Kyler, what I really want, y'all, what I really want is a, if I'm not like independently wealthy and building my own place, because that's something entirely else. In that case, I have more than one streaming computer, because I've got one in my art studio, which is actually like got windows for lots of extra natural light, more than what my slider can do, as well as more than one natural spectrum light bulb around to have it well lit for the streaming and everything. But I like one studio for this, and then another place for my videos, and a lot, nice little spot with a lot more room. But if it was just the upgrade from this, and I'm not independently wealthy, it would be a condo, so I don't have to deal with outside maintenance on Weatherhip. Being the cripple, that is a challenge on a good day these days. and then having lacking more expansive, having a room where I have the streaming computer and then the art table right next to it, so I can have my camera and stream the artworks and also stream the gaming. So yes, a little more space would be ideal for me. And by a little more space, I mean at least 2 more rooms. And we're going to skip that song today, and I put it in the list, but we might come back to that one.
We are #1 on 2 different Billboard charts. That means that this album is pretty good.
Yeah, the good internet's kind of an important thing too. Although I'd love to. I shouldn't say this because I'll probably get if Comcast is watching and figures out which customer I am, I'd love to ditch Comcast for like a super fast fiber. But that's also one of those, oh hey, gotten a lot richer to actually do the connection that I really want for that. You're dealing with like a gig a second kind of thing. And then I just need equipment that will keep up with that too, which Potato Clock will not. I can tell you right away, Potato Clock will not keep up with that kind of throughput. Grabbing some colors in some various spots here. Colors that have already got wet and even been spilling a little bit. probably gonna do this couple of runs around the outer edges and then call the stream soon. It's only 7:30. Or 7:45. I don't want to call the stream too soon yet. I got to be careful because of places I've already painted and painting myself repeatedly. It's not like, let's try this color. Oh no, that doesn't match my complexion. How about this one? Oh, that's kind of nice. What if we had this one too? Yeah, that's how I feel sometimes. It's just I'm not doing it intentionally. Makeup, paint, potato. Yeah, 1 or 2 bedroom house and a small plot of land is potentially doable around here if you've got a little bit of a down payment, and kind of an important if you go a little bit outside the city, or else deep downtown kind of thing. There's a quadrant in town where property values are quite low. There's a couple of spots. Property values are quite low, but there's a reason for that. So you kind of get what you pay for in that regards. Or if you can get just a little bit outside of town where, while at the same time avoiding the high desirability outer edges of town. But that's all, folks. The catch with that for me, of course, being the specifically looking more along the lines of a condo, because if I've got a home, just a regular house, you've got the maintenance and upkeep of the outside too, which means lawn care. It means shoveling snow or plowing or whatever. And it's like, I just want that taken care of for me. I've got a bad hip. I can't always do the outside maintenance stuff. Not just most of the time don't want to, which is true. I'm not as tolerant to the temperature extremes as I used to be. And when I am, it's a question about how long am I going to be tolerant for. But it's a matter of I'm crippled. I can't always do that well. Yeah, good credit is helpful there. I don't have great credit right now. I had an issue being forced through bankruptcy and stuff like that, and still recovering from some of that financially, and running on the edge of a budget, so to speak. So Satsu has probably, Squishy may not have better credit than me. Satsu, from what he's been saying, definitely has got better credit than me, which means, from a practical standpoint, the black guy is going to have it a lot easier getting a loan than the white guy. And I'm not just white. I am like neon white. I am glow in the dark, can be seen under overcast skies at midnight on a new moon. White. The kind of thing where you have blind guys walk past you and say, "Damn, he's white." Yeah, and there's say for hiring the chores out and everything, it kind of depends on who you have do it. I've tried, even in country living, tried to have plowing the driveway hired out when it applied to me, because shoveling a driveway of that length was just not gonna happen and me be able to function the rest of the week. And had nightmare issues with plow services too. So it's kind of like you have to be careful who you get for that kind of stuff at the same time. Of course, maybe I would say if I were in a situation for that, I'd probably talk to Mama Forge, because she has to take, she's getting on in years a little bit too, and she hires those services out and gets them taken care of well. So that would be something that might end up who do you have do your yard and driveway again? Oh yeah, that's right. I'd be interested in hiring them, but I'd have to get myself in the position to hire that kind of stuff out first. Yeah, it would seem according to the narratives, it would seem impossible, but definitely the black guy, from a credit standpoint, would have an easier time getting a loan than the white guy. Now, I don't know how much money he makes streaming. I do know that they would consider, even if he made the same money as me or more, the bank would consider my employment more stable than his. But as financial institutions deal in risk, my credit makes me a worse risk. It's recovering slowly. Let's see, the fine details and try not to skew my view, and I end up with still paint dots on the stuff that I'm trying not to paint. So I'm going to have a lot of touch-ups in the next few streams too, I think. Including possibly, if I can't match the right color, replacing entire color patterns. Maybe in a future process, I might do not a by color, but use a printed copy of the same image to record what colors I put in a spot, so if I have to touch it up. Might do something like that, we'll see. Too late to do it with this one. Oh yeah, I wanted to do this song here because this one I haven't played before on the stream. I talked about how talented his family is. This is him and his wife, and it's a medley, and you're dealing with. It's so good they could have been original cast kind of thing.
In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came, that voice which calls to me and speaks my name. And in this labyrinth where night is blind, the phantom of the opera is inside my mind.
No more talk of darkness. Forget these wide-eyed fears. I'm here. Nothing can harm you. My words will warm and calm you.
All I want is freedom, a world with no more night, and you always beside me, to hold me and to hide me.
Then say you'll share with me one love, one lifetime. Let me lead you from your solitude. And say you'll meet me with you here, beside you. Anywhere you let me go to.
Love me, that's all I ask of you.
Nighttime sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness stirs and wakes imagination. Silently the senses abandon their defenses, helpless to resist the notes I write. The power of the music of the night. Let your mind start to turn each
Good to hear that, Kyler. Those medical bills are like a major factor when it comes to potentials in um, bankruptcy. I know that mine contributed. My bankruptcy could basically be split fairly evenly between medical bills and vindictive exes. So it's definitely a factor that you got to pay attention to and be careful of. So it's always a great thing when your insurance will cover that. And I mean, I've had insurance like, yeah, we know that your maximum out of pocket is this, but really you owe that, and that is like, oh, yeah, that's 10 times more than my maximum out of pocket. How's that supposed to math? I never did get that figured out. But I've been dealing with chronic medical issues since, well, it's these chronic medical issues keeping me in regular contact with doctors since '99. Before that, most of my chronic medical issues were just kind of like brushed off as nominal. So that's kind of one of those things I pay attention to real quickly and early is the health insurance options where I work. Curiously, I fight right now because the way things are supposed to go with prescription benefits and the way they are going with prescription benefits do not match. Yeah, well, it says that maximum out of pocket for some reason didn't apply at equal value to what it was supposed to. And so I've not actually been able to build significant savings because I have been medical bills and then other family emergencies stacking up. It's like, you know, we start saving some money and oops, there goes the savings. Start saving money, there goes the savings. I've never ended up long term. I've never gone hungry and without shelter and everything. But it's been a bit of a ride sometimes. And I don't get it because I keep getting told that basically my white privilege benefits should be sheltering me from all the hardships that I've had in my life because white people don't have those things happen. The world is made the world is made for them, as the country is due to systemic racism and everything. I'm like, you keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Let's just say that whoever was supposed to be giving me my white privilege benefits needs to be fired. Yeah, funny. The one was actually with. I want to say the one was with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it just still ended up with. Yeah, in the end, there's going to be more money due than what's been paid in, and we're only writing off so much no matter what the insurance is. What? But yeah, I've had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and kind of where they've been good, they've been great. I've had lots of different insurance carriers. is the best thing I got going for me on insurance right now, aside from pretty good insurance for the most part through my work, is that anything that relates to my injuries from my car accident is covered by the auto insurance that I had at the time for the rest of my life. So we know we're going to have to replace weather hips sometime. When we do, that's part of the auto insurance policy that I had at the time. They've had to pay for annual visits to my joint surgeon and annual visits to my joint specialist before that. If I have prescription painkillers, they have to pay for that. It sucks that gyms have been closed because they have to pay for a Y membership for me because my doctor has ordered pool therapy and aqua therapy. And it can be self-directed, but I need a heated swimming pool, and the only way I get access to that is a local YMCA. So they have to pay for the membership. But gyms are closed in Michigan, so even a chlorinated pool, you just can't do it. Just about now I could deal with a revelation like they had in San Francisco, where basically all the gyms for government workers have been open since July, indoor workouts and everything, and they've been restricting private gym memberships forever. Just started giving out, allowing for limited outdoor workout sessions at the gyms, and they've been changing that up pretty quickly because they got caught on the the gyms are actually open in the government buildings. What? And so I guess come Monday, all the gyms can be opened indoors. Still subject to some restrictions, but at least it's cutting back on the rules for thee and not for me thing. And back before I was working the late shift, I'd go to the Y and swim before work kind of thing. And I need to get back into doing that because it's good for my health and good for my hip and good for my weight and everything. But gotta get the gyms open again first, and then have to figure out the time balance for sleep and work and everything. Yeah, well, if it's outside of Michigan, even if the company is run by, say, even if the corporate headquarters are in Michigan, your local things should be subject to local mandates and guidelines and restrictions and everything. So they shouldn't be doing their stuff that the state there doesn't require just because of the way that it is in Michigan. Although you do end up with, I work in the financial industry. I work in a financial field, and we do business in every state, and we just go with, for the most part, when we can, we just go with the strictest mandates of the strictest state. And states like, we've been affected by our customers have been affected by the COVID stuff, and it's like, okay, one state says you must do this for the customers. It's like, we already were. don't know who you're talking about. We care about our customers. But one state makes a requirement, and we look at it and say, is it going to be more practical and better for us and our customers if we just apply this to every state? Or are we going to isolate to the states that require us to do something? And we prefer to do more universal stuff. So we like to do the one state gives us a guideline. If we can, we make all the states along the same guideline. Sometimes they don't let us do that, and sometimes a specific guideline makes no sense. So we only do it where the states require it. People don't think about how heavily regulated financial industries are. And it is just... it's insane sometimes, because you get situations where you actually want to do something for the benefit of your customers and the state won't let you. Yeah, if the customers feel like they're taken care of, they keep coming back, and that's you get I had this happen, I had to deal with this, and you were there the whole time. And I had a great actually had a great conversation with a customer yesterday. I think it was yesterday, about that kind of thing even. And it's like, I don't want to go anywhere else. But then we come across a lot where it's like, hey, we want to do this, and we want to do this, and it's going to help all of our customers this way. And you get 30 states saying, hey, that's cool. You get 15 saying, I'm going to look at that a little closer just to make sure everything maths. And then you get 5 saying, not on our watch. You do realize this is going to be better for the customers than what they're already getting. Yeah. And you're not going to let us do it. Nope. Not yet.
When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them all. I'm on your side. Like a sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. Oh, if you need a friend, I'm sailing right behind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind, like a bridge over troubled water. I will ease your mind. Ease your mind.
Hey, Hollins family.
Ooh, not fun on the FMLA there. I don't know what the FMLA guidelines are where I work. I know that if you're using short-term disability, you have to. There's basically a 1-day gap between your last day of work and when the disability payments start, as far as 1 week unpaid, essentially. But you can use your time off to, you can use paid time off to fill that gap. And me, I'm still bucking the trend on things like that, because I've had one professional already tell me that I'm a prime candidate and should go with permanent disability. And it's like, I actually want to work. I don't want to take the hit that going on disability would be, etc. and everything. I went through a short-term disability thing because I lost my mind, and it happens. You know, complex life, stuff happens. I lost my mind. Well, I got enough of it back to be working, and I'm trying to keep working. Now, like I said, if I could do, if I was in a financial position where I could just do this on the regular, make content and make stream videos and make art stuff, that'd be one thing. But I don't want to go on disability just to do that either, and I don't know if that would put me in a financially sound enough position to do that. Yeah, exactly. Don't tell anybody. I like my job. I work for a great company. I work with the best people. The company and the company cares about the employees and the customers. Those valued employees care about the customers. We care about doing what's best for the people we're doing business with. And kind of want to keep it that way. It's like we've only had a few states that have put coronavirus restrictions on our industry that are stricter than the stuff that we're already doing ourselves. And some of those that they put in there could actually kill the industry if they're taken to their logical conclusions. So, got to be careful with stuff like that. I can't go into a lot of detail, and I do not give professional financial advice on my streams. I say talk to the applicable expert. But some of the state interventions are not any better than the stuff that caused the housing bubble, where all the foreclosures and everything. This is the stuff they don't want to, the details they don't want to get into, is part of the reason why there were all of those bad house loans out there. Is the government forced the banks to give loans to people that they knew, without a doubt, could not pay the loans back. In that situation, I don't blame the banks for trying to turn a guaranteed loss into something to work with. So they bundled those loans and sold them to the government. You know what? I don't blame the banks. I blame the government for making them write the loans in the first place, and then for buying the bad loans and everything. The bank's just trying to make it work with that. Now, I'm annoyed where the execs got protected, and the people that wrote the loans are like, if we say no to this loan, we're going to get sued, but we know it's a bad loan, and we're not going to be able to, we're going to have to foreclose sooner or later. That was one of the things that President Obama did as a community organizer before being elected president and before being elected into the Senate, was suing banks to force them to give out loans they knew were bad. That's one of those tidbits that you don't, from history, that you don't hear about. But that's when you get a lot of government interference in the financial industry, and sometimes you do have to have the we can't have predatory financial organizations preying on vulnerable customers. You get questions and concerns of fraud and everything like that, but you end up with the government micromanaging what the financial industry can do. You end up with the government forcing companies to do something that they can't make work. Yeah, exactly, Kyler. Has good people in it, and don't actively hate anyone you have to work with every day. About as much as you can ask for. And I have got better than that, even, because I've been working there for a while, and different positions and different bosses, and every single time, if your supervisor or your boss is leaving your department or leaving the company. In one case, my boss retired, and you come up with this, like, what's gonna be what I get next. You don't know what the next boss is gonna be like, and you're like, I've got a great boss. Now that boss is going to a different position in the company, or they're retiring. It's like, what am I gonna get next? And I've gone from great boss to even better boss, and like, it can't get any better than this. You go to a better boss, and I was like, it can't get any better than this, and even better boss. And this is one of the retires. This is the best boss I've had in my life. How does it get any better? And I got an even better boss. And it's we, and I've heard rumors of some supervisors being better or worse to work for. I've not experienced it as like, this is really, this is a great person to have in management, as long as you're not directly reporting to them, kind of thing. I've heard people talk about things like that in their life experiences, and I've never had that boss over me. I've never had a boss where like, yeah, this is a great person to have. Generally speaking, this is a good person to have in the company, in a management experience, position. They know their stuff. But they're just not the best person to report to. I've never had that. I've had just one long stream of, I have got the best boss. I work with the best people. I have got the best boss. And that drives a lot of loyalty too, you know. You don't want to lose that kind of connection. Come on. Found a spot here that should be this color. I'm trying to paint it while it's on my mind, but of course it's in the middle of the picture, so I have to be careful, because otherwise I'm painting myself. I should just like give up and do a stream sometime that's just painting the back of my hand. Since I keep messing up in pictures, let's just paint something on the back of my hand. What's the worst that can happen? It washes off. Well, I guess the worst that could happen is for some reason it doesn't wash off. I didn't really expect that to be a permanent tattoo when I painted it. Yeah, that's winning right there. Is like, this person isn't the best at their job as a boss. However, I make them look good, so they really like me. That's not a bad place to be in either. You know, is this best boss or not so good boss? If you can be in favor with the powers that be, that's always a plus. Now, if you can be in favor with the powers that be and have a great boss, you know, just bonus. And because, you know, and I'm not the most efficient worker out there and everything, but I am a professional. I know my stuff, and I've got tech skills that make me good at other things. And I get to answer, you know, my boss, you know, so yeah, I gotta ask an aside on this. How does this work? You know, what might cause this? I mean, when your boss asks you about why the systems might do a certain thing or what the guidelines are on something and everything, you know that you know your stuff. You just have to make sure that the rest of your work is up to snuff so that they aren't forced to do something to you against their will.
There are loved ones in the glory whose dear forms you often miss. When you close your earthly story, will you join them in their bliss? Will the circle be unbroken by and by, by and by? Is a better home awaiting in the sky, oh, in the sky?
In the joyous days of childhood, all they told of wondrous love pointed to the dying Savior. Now they dwell with him above. Will the circle days were empty. One by one they went away. Here the circle has been broken. Will it be complete one day? Will the circle be unbroken by and by? Oh, by and by is a better home awaiting in the sky, oh, in the sky. Will the circle be unbroken by and by? Oh, by and by is a better home awaiting in the sky, oh, in the sky.
Hey, Holland's family. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, the more value can be in as far as knowledgeable in any industry, in any, like in your fields, specialized knowledge of certain machines and everything. It can only help you. And I gotta be kind of careful because there are people that know me professionally that do actually know that I stream and the name that I stream under, and sometimes have been known to lurk. And I know they lurk because we talk about it afterwards. Other times I get text messages in the middle of a stream saying things like, your microphone is off. Or the music is off. We've only got you. But there's nobody on the leadership where I work that is in that group, and I am very careful to, generally speaking, avoid anything that would cross the lines of the company's, you could call social media guidelines or something. And they're pretty good about it too, because they're like, don't give professional advice, especially not advice you're not qualified to give, and make it clear that whatever you're saying is your opinion and not representative of us, and otherwise you do you. So basically, if my employer follows their own social media rules, I cannot say, unless I cross those professional lines, I cannot get in trouble for what I say in this stream or on Jack Gunsky's channel, which is, let's face it, far more likely to get me in trouble with any group. Yeah, sometimes you're like, yeah, I'd be good at that job, but those people, the expectations on them is crazy. I had one that, I was like, yeah, I know I would be good in that kind of work, and I've got a degree in that field. However, that would mean moving to California. Well, I love the company I work for. I love the people I work with and everything. I am not taking any position that forces me to move to California. And finally, Wazowski has surfaced, and he discovered the catnip right away. So that's a winning in stream prep right there. Now this is one of the collabs with the entirety of Home Free. Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm careful too. And you can, nobody right now could scrub my streams and say, "Oh, this is where Will works, and with this information, this is who he really is." There is not enough weaponized autism even on 4chan to pull that off, 4chan or Reddit. Not saying I can't be found, but I can't be found by just the information in my streams. I do. As I said, there's folks who know that are, sometimes cruising the stream and lurking in the chat. So there are people that could spill the beans on that pretty easily, but they're respecting my privacy as much as I respect theirs. Hello, Ninjago Fan 01 over on the D Live. You have just caught right coming into the end of the stream here, because we're hitting 8:40, and that means 20 minutes to Lords of the Night on Ranting Monkey's channel. And I have just about reached the limit of my endurance on this anyway. I've got some obligations before work on Monday that I would make sure that I don't wear myself down too much as well. And I don't try to stream over Lords of the Night because I will lose every single time in that little kerfuffle. But Ninjago Fan, there is, if you go to the YouTube, I'm pretty sure I got a link in the description there. There will shortly be the whole stream, relatively shortly be the whole stream that's viewable if you want to skim through that, or else I'm streaming, as a rule, I'm streaming every weekend starting 5 p.m., right around 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturdays. I'm on the even odd schedule, so next weekend would be one of the game streams. Yeah, and go ahead, Kyler, throw one more shill for your channel out there, because if you're up to it, if he's up to it, Kyler will be streaming tomorrow, and he will be playing Civ 6, and it has been an entertaining thing to follow as well. Otherwise, if you've got other creators that you like, remember to share out their stuff, front, sideways, everything else. Share, shill them on Twitter, shill them on Discord and everything, because YouTube really sucks at pushing the content creators. And so we have to kind of support and push each other. I'm just kind of skimming through the playlist because one of the songs that I haven't done yet today, because following standard, I'm going to do one more song as I'm shutting things down. Yes, Ranting Monkey, YouTube sucks at YouTube. It is good to see you in the chat, Ranting Monkey. I was just shilling out Lords of the Night in 20 minutes on your channel, so please make sure that you are there, or else let me know so I can call it off now. I remember one specific Saturday, it says I shilled out Lords of the Night, and then there was a epic collapse in everything, so they ended up not having Lords of the Night that Saturday. If I'd known that in advance, I'd have gotten a political stream up on the political channel. It's fill in the gap there, the Arbiters of the Absence, the Archdukes of the After Dawn to cover for Lords of the Night. But that's why I got to watch them, is so I can make sure that, oh, hey, I can slip in the gap here. We will be there. Okay, this is this is YouTube. You'll love this, Monkey. You can yell at YouTube about this. Everything you say, YouTube is moderating for approval. And I'm betting it's because of your name. So that'll give you something else you can yell at YouTube, because I'm watching the chat and I'm watching you type something, and then it's being held, and There you go. Kyler is beating me to the draw on the approval. But you yell at them all the time. Here's something else where it is deserved. They are moderating what you say just because it's you. See the classic YouTube fix your well, yeah. Wait, me specifically, Susan, 8 figures, and you can't see it? Sheesh. Yeah, exactly. I see you send that. Kyler's got the wrench. He sees you send that, and then one of us has to click to actually show it to the rest of chat. So yeah, I don't want to bring too much Susan attention specifically to my stream, but that's something I thought you'd enjoy knowing that. You can yell at Susan in YouTube for that too, because every single thing. As we're shutting things down, I'm gonna start cleaning the brushes. We'll just go with this short. Love the video game themes sometimes too. And then we will be calling it quits. Monkey, go ahead and throw a link to your channel in the chat so anybody that's lurking that might want to see it. I think we got a lot of audience overlap anyway, but actually I think most of my audience overlaps. And that is a full a cappella version. I know it sounds like there's stuff in the background. It sounds like instruments and everything. And it's not. It is all a cappella. Human voice and mouth and claps. Probably some body percussion in there, but there's not. There wasn't any instruments in that actually. Now he does have auto tune, so you can get some of that more metallic sound out of the vocals sometimes too. And then just for anybody that's interested, because we've made a lot of progress in our picture today compared to how it shows on the end card, I do hope to have a good daylight capture picture posted to my Twitter within the next 2 or 3 days, and that is at will_it_forge on Twitter. It's at will_it_forge. And if you follow me, I also point out, I show when I'm having a stream. If I see something like Kyler's stream, I'll tweet that out too. So that gives you some ideas there. I do pictures of other works that I've done go up on there too. Otherwise, remember to shill for the creators, because YouTube sucks at YouTube. And, if you like what you're hearing, share it to the people you like. If you don't like what you're hearing, I'm irritating you, I'm boring and everything, share with the people you don't like. Share it with everybody and let them figure out which group they fall into. And with that, I do thank you for stopping by, and y'all have a good evening. And I'll see some of you over in the Latin chat shortly.